walilia machozi wakisema woi, woi. Wakina baba, wakina mama na watoto wote walilia machozi wakisema
Hey, you're listening to the podcast. Omenerds podcast.
The Kenyan Dream. The reason we started this podcast was to escape from this Kenyan life as it is currently. Because it seems like the Kenyan dream that we were sold is only available to a certain kind of people. A few people are able to navigate this Kenyan life and we see them prospering. And the Kenyan dream we were sold, that you go to school, you finish your exams, you pass, you work hard, you put in time, you put in passion, and you get to afford life. But that doesn't seem to be working out for majority of Kenyans. So the rest of us are left with, as Tim likes to call it, the Kenyan nightmare. On episode 4, we will be exploring the Kenyan dream or Kenyan nightmare as it appears to each of us. And we have in studio the guys from Rescue BnB, Sallinder and Mugambi and Galgalo. What is the Kenyan dream to each of you? I think we'll start with Jimmy because he looks like shit's bubbling under.
I look like I'm booze.
I wanna.
Okay, Laura, start.
Can I?
Laura first.
Sorry? Yeah, you can start. Sure, no problem.
I'm gonna throw the question back to you. Have we ever been sold the Kenyan dream, or is it something that the citizens kind of came up with? Like, we all need to fit into this little box together.
To answer Lorizi's question of whether there is actually a dream that we were sold, I want to refer to this. Oh God of all creation, bless this our land and nation.
Plenty be found
within our borders. And I also want to go to the third stanza, which says, "And the glory of Kenya, the fruit of our labor, fill every heart with thanksgiving." Meaning, you labor, you get fruit, you are thankful. That is what I would imagine the Kenyan dream to be. You put in labor, you put in your passion into something, and then you take out, something that will make you thankful. So if your dream is to take your kids to, a school that's...
You should be able to.
You should be able to. You should be able to live life. You should be able to afford life.
Or to live.
Exactly. So, Jimmy, what is your Kenyan dream, if I was to ask you?
My Kenyan dream is based on the Kenyan dream I've seen. Like, what do most Kenyans want? What's best for most Kenyans, or they think is best for them. I also want that. So I want to have enough money. Kenyan dream is about money, as it is right now. Like, you have enough money to insulate yourself from the Kenyan reality.
Absolutely.
So if you have enough money to not live in crowded places, have a private area to yourself, half-acre compound or more, grab it, whatever. Yeah. So Kenyan dream for me is having enough, like accumulating enough wealth to insulate yourself from the Kenyan reality. But then the problem is that reality always finds a way to come round and get you. Like, you don't want to live in crowded areas in suburbia, but then the crowding will just come around and get you in traffic. Na mko hapo tu wote mmekaa. So, yeah, it's a bit difficult for me.
I find it interesting that you pointed out that the Kenyan dream is to live well enough to insulate yourself from the reality.
Yeah.
Because that's how we function as Kenyans.
Absolutely.
We have an expectation of services. We have an expectation of how we should be living. But because...
Is it an expectation or something we are owed?
Yeah, that's what I mean by expectation.
Okay,
I expect it to happen because it should happen.
Yes.
Right?
Like, it's the bare minimum.
Yeah, it should be the bare minimum. But because it doesn't happen, we have... Now the kujitegemea has become the Kenyan dream. Like, I need to live well enough that if shit hits the fan, me, I'm fine. Like, I'm okay. If the roads depreciate to whatever level, I can afford to buy my 4x4 car, I'm fine.
Or a chopper.
Exactly. if I'm not being provided for water, I can afford to get those tankers in my house.
Or
that's
dig a
fine.
borehole yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
If Kenya Power doesn't give me steamer, I can afford to put in solar panels.
Your
I'm
generator.
fine. Like that's
Funny
literally
nini.
our reality, is that we are insulating ourselves from what happens around us.
I agree.
As in, that's all we are. It's kujite. As much as you see people saying serikali saidia, at the end of the day,
they don't really expect
at the end of the day,
You don't
Mkenya ni
expect it.
kujitegemea. Like every man for himself and God for us all. That's where we're at in the Kenyan reality. Wow, this is making me really sad.
Have some KC, babe.
Hey.
Friend?
Omenerds podcast.
When we recorded this episode, both the interview and the conversations, it was at the end of August this year. It was a different time. Kenya had just concluded a faulty election, and there was talk of different parties going to court. Most importantly for us on the Omenerds podcast and for the rest of the country, there was no proof that the state had actively crushed dissent in low-income areas of Nairobi, Kibra, Mathare, and Dandora, and as well as parts of Kisumu County. The accounts by witnesses that lived through the horror of the premeditated violence by the state were shouted down as false by both the media and religious institutions, who towed the party line in carpet bombing everyone with peace messages and collective denial. 2 months later, we not only have had a second election, the Supreme Court nullified the August edition. And everything that Nyawira witnessed has been proven as true and on record by numerous credible civil society organizations, which means that we do not have to censor a lot of what she says in this recording. Sadly, after the October 26th election, there was more premeditated violence by the state, and Rescue BnB again swung into action to accommodate, help, and rescue those who are affected by the violence that rocked parts of Western Kenya and Nairobi. It's really interesting how much can change in 2 months, while some parts stay the same. Kenya is a really strange dream.
So you know Mugambi Nthiga, if you don't know him, he's like a one-man everything. He's a dope dude. Dope MC, so if you have any parties, call him.
Dope dancer.
Yes.
Oh my God, no, please. Let's not
Today
go back
we
that far.
learned that he was in a Christian dance troupe.
Hallelujah.
One of the
Called
greatest in
all
Kenya.
over. Yeah,
The
it's
best.
all over.
No, it was
All over.
It was the best in Kenya.
It
It
was
was called
all
all over,
over.
but it was pronounced all over.
Where?
Yeah.
Like all over everywhere, or
Yeah,
like
like
when
that.
you're on stage,
That
it's
was the
over.
idea.
Mekill show.
When they're on stage, it's over.
Alright.
It's over.
You're not okay, so I get it now. I think maybe perhaps.
Sips water.
He's also behind Katikati, the fabulous award-winning movie. And he's a producer, writer, director-ish,
What was it? Actor,
actor as well.
writer, director.
Huh.
Yeah, I can't produce to save my life.
And then we have Sallinder Nyawira behind Rescue BnB. Right? And from the website, what I understand is that you sent out a text right after the elections, a tweet right after the elections asking if anybody needs to be housed because we had the drama in Kibra.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe intro yourself as well, just a little bit more about you.
So yeah, my name is Sallinder Nyawira. I am 28. Yes. I
No
can hear you
mainsist.
coughing. Yeah, mainsist. What?
Insist.
Millennials.
Millennials.
So yeah, I'm the what can I say? The founder, quote unquote, of Rescue BnB because I didn't do it by myself. So I have a team, and Galgalo is here with me. He should say something before I leave this chair. So how Rescue BnB came about is a colleague of mine lives in Kibera, and she's a single mom of one lovely baby girl called Brianna. So when the whole thing tokead, am I not allowed to use that?
As comfortable.
You can ongea. You
Vile
can
ilipotokea, wacha
ongea.
niwaambie. I have a day job, like an 8 to 5. I'm a project manager and I handle detergent. So I have a team of 40 guys below me. So of course, being, in charge of them, I wanted to know if they're safe, if they're secure. So I was texting each and every one of them. Like, are you safe where you are? Is everything okay? So one of my colleagues lives in Kibra. And when I texted her, she's like, hey, no, here, it's not fine. They're shooting, there's tear gas, they're being poured that water, the itchy water. And then those guys were shooting, they were getting into homes forcefully. And she was hiding under her bed with her daughter. So then I was like, wow. And then I get online, guys are like, no, nothing is happening in Kibra, everything is calm. So then I took a screenshot of our conversation and I posted it online. I was like, okay, fine. If Kibra is so calm, then why is my colleague hiding under her bed with her baby from flying bullets? And I was like, I know this is not right. So then I said, that's what now made me want to post that tweet. So I tweeted and said, if you're in Kibra and you need help, because I live in Rongai, I said, if you're in Kibra and you need help, just send me a message tomorrow, because it was like 2 a.m. and I'll get in touch with you and we'll see how I can come for you. So I didn't know that the message was going to get that big. Like, it became viral. Someone took the message, attached my number, and then now converted it into a WhatsApp message. So they're like, if you're in Kibra, Kawangware, Mathare, Dandora, Siaya, Kisumu, Nyawira said you call her. Here's her number. She'll give you shelter. And I was like, oh my gosh. I actually had the message sent back to me by my cousin, by my mom who's in the States, and now by one of my colleagues. And I was like, hey, where?
So they'd received it on their own, right? Like, it had been forwarded to them.
Yes, it'd been forwarded to WhatsApp groups that they're in.
And they're like, oh my God, this...
Imagine.
I know this number, I know this thing.
Imagine they're like, hey, Nyawira, is this you? I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wait,
So,
people started sending you M-Pesa?
yeah, guys started sending me
Wow,
money.
that is amazing.
Ati, thank you so much for being nice. So here's some money, help the people. Because there are actually 2 people in my house, by the way. I have 2 women and a kid. Because I hadn't thought it through. When I tweeted it, I just wanted to
You
help.
just wanted to give a little bit, like
Yeah.
your house, whatever. It wasn't something that you were thinking long term, like this is going to be an actual foundation. This is how much,
Imagine.
assistance is needed on the ground.
I had not thought it through.
That's just a pure human emotion.
Exactly.
Big up,
I had not.
big up,
Thank
big up
you.
yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. I hadn't thought it through. So when Shiko got in touch with me and asked me all those questions, then now we decided to form a WhatsApp group. And I remember when I had posted the screenshot of the conversation between me and my colleague, I had forgot to erase her number. As in, I was so, I was so frantic. I was like, where? If there's nothing happening in Kibra, what's this? So Galgalo saw the number and he got in touch with her. So he called her. This was at like 2 a.m. We kept on speaking with her till 4. Then her phone went off. So, of course, then we went into panic mode. We're like, Bas, her phone has died. And, they had disconnected electricity in Kibra. So they had no electricity, gunshots everywhere, tear gas, and she has her baby. Me, I didn't sleep. Like, I slept for like 1 hour. I woke up in the morning. We tried calling her until like 10. Her phone came on at like 11. Then she told us what had happened. Then she said she's safe, but then there was a lot of tension. They were not allowed to leave their homes. They couldn't leave their estates. Shops were closed. Cops were everywhere. GSU was everywhere patrolling. So then, so that's how Rescue BnB was formed. When we formed the WhatsApp group, we got a lot of people like extending help. Like we got Octopizo, we got Giuliani, we got Sam Gishuru, we got Jambi Koikai, we got Boniface Mwangi. I think Esther Pasais was in that group. Sindo Galgalo, yeah. So I think she's still there. Like I've not saved everyone's number. So we got a lot of guys reaching out. Some guys from USAID, UNHCR. Ken Okoth also reached out. He got in touch with me. He was able to help in Kibra. Because now getting into Kibra is a problem. Like you can't go by yourself. Like for us, since then, we've had to go with Octopizo. Because he's
And he has a foundation as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
the Octopizo Foundation has now partnered with us, so we're also working with them. So now, because of that foundation, that's how we're able to penetrate Kibra and also identify those people that needed food packs, that needed shelter, and those kind of things.
So people are volunteering their houses to host these people.
Yes, people are volunteering their houses. They're volunteering their time. Now, for those who don't have a house, but then have time to give, they are giving donations like through Mchanga.
This is Mugambi is part of the team.
Mugambi is a
I learned
volunteer.
I'm a volunteer.
Oh, okay, because I learned about it from him actually,
Amazing.
from one of his tweets, right? And then I talked to a friend of mine who's in the States, and I told her, I was like, have you seen this rescue? She's like, yeah, actually, they reached out to me for me to tweet out like information because of the time difference.
Ah,
Because
okay.
she'll be awake when you guys are asleep, whatever, and vice versa. Yeah, and I was like, this is such an interesting story that something can come out of pure emotion, birth this tweet, and birth this movement where, organizations like Sendy are so happy to give their time and to give their services free of charge.
Yes.
And now we know that there are Kenyans who are just like, oh, there's a number attached to this. I'm just going to M-Pesa this person because I feel like giving. It's not from a place of, this person has been asking me for money or whatever. But I just feel like this is a good thing to give money to, especially around a time where people were so unsure of what was happening. And I think even like Jimmy, you had your own experiences during that time.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know
was
if
in Kawangware 56 during the whole
Oh, really?
thing. Yeah.
Could you share your story? Because I have a very interesting story from 56.
Yeah, because I'm interested in what was happening there as well.
What I saw there was like, I voted there on election day, just the school at the stage, Gatina Primary. And the next day, there was looting that happened. Before all the commotion started, there was looting of the shops at the stage. So that's where the issue came in from. But when the looting was happening, the police weren't reacting to that at that moment, as far as I could hear, because I wouldn't go outside.
So they're just letting them loot.
They
were just letting them loot.
I didn't know whether the police were there or not, but I
Ah.
could hear people say that they're looting. So I didn't go see. But after the results were announced and all the chaos started, so that's where the indifference from some people came in, because they were like, the people being shot and all that are looters, not protesters.
Yeah.
But from where I was, I could see that there were protesters. Sometimes the protest would turn violent and people throwing stones at the police. But the reaction was a bit heavy-handed from them, because they were shooting everywhere, tear gas. I think tear gas was being dropped from a helicopter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so it was there was a lot of confusion, and people were divided on that, because they're like, oh, there's certain communities that are looting our shops and burning our shops. So I imagine those are the people who are calling towards that. So it's a much bigger problem than just the political side of it. The tribalism is very heavy there. And
It's very high.
some people are labeled looters and thieves. And if any one of them tries to speak up about their political views and saying that they feel this wasn't right, so they'll be shut down just on the fact that you
That's
are on the side of the looters. So that was a bit difficult there.
Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Nyawira and Mugash after we pay some bills.
As Nyawira of Rescue BnB told us, hii Kenya yetu ni
Kujitegemea maze.
kujitegemea tu. So there is this service right now called the Road Samaritan, which if you're in the event of an accident, yani ni wewe umegonga gari mwingine ama umegongwa na gari ingine.
Ama umegongwa.
So Road Samaritan is a 24-hour call center service where witnesses of your accident text your number plate to the service number, and what Road Samaritan does is send an EMT person, that's an emergency medical technician, to where the situation has happened to assist with the situation. If it's deemed serious, then a medical vehicle is deployed to assist further with the situation.
In case of an accident, a witness texts your number plate to the service and they offer assistance as quick as possible. Unasaidiwa. Nataka huko maji wanaita ambulance. Ambulance.
Kama kuna shida wanaita ambulance. Wanakuja wanakusaidia. Yeah, your next of kin is also informed, just to be kept in the loop. This service only costs 1,000 bob per year.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's
I would
amazing.
have
I
thought
think
that's,
kujitegemea, I think that's a very
it's,
good price.
Yeah, it's
in my
worth
opinion.
it.
Unfortunately, it's only restricted to motorists, pedestrians, mukigongwa na bodaboda
God.
ama mtu wa baiskeli ama mkokoteni kukanyaga mguu. Hakuna kitu inaweza fanyika for now, but I think we'll try and look into that in
Don't
future.
worry, you don't know about our culture. Si utembea wawili. In case one is down, kuna backup. So you don't worry about us.
So if you are interested in the Road Samaritan, just check out the website. The URL is www.roadsamaritan.co.ke, or if you're on social media, look for Road Samaritan KE.
Friend?
Omenerds podcast.
Yes, you lubricated yourself. Carry on.
Yes, I have. Okay, so on episode 4 of the Omenerds podcast, I just want to find out what everyone is, plugging this week. What are you interested in? What are you watching? What are you loving? Let's start with Jimmy.
So in the interest of national unity, we have 44th or 45th tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I came across a book by the Ngugi wa Thiong'o of Indian literature. His name is Bibutibushan.
I feel like that's the wrong
Yeah.
pronunciation.
I cannot pronounce it for
His name
shit, I
sounds
know.
like-
But Kenya is big. Watu wametoka kila pande. So we can't all be on the same page when it comes to pronunciation. But yeah, this book is called... it's called Pater Panchali. I'm not even sure if I pronounced that right. But it translates to Song of the Road. So it's about this rural Brahmin household. Brahmin is like the upper caste of the kind of Indian society they live in. But they're poor, but they're upper caste, and it doesn't make sense. But being so the Maki, still it makes sense. Like you can be poor, but still you insist I'm the upper caste. So Kenya is big. We are all the same, and we share a lot in common. So please, if you can, check out this book, Song of the Road by Bibutibushan Bandopadey.
The thing goes.
Wow. That's,
Yeah.
that is very interesting. Lorizi, what are you loving this week?
After our last episode, I am reading Black Ass. The last person we interviewed was Fruit Junkie, aka Jackie Njeri. So she talked about reading that book, and I am reading it at the moment. It is a difficult read, but I'll get through it.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I have an issue with African literature, but that's another episode.
I see.
But I will still consume it, always and forever.
Bless up.
Thanks.
Bless up. Max, Lady of Bangles.
Attractor
Tell us,
of metal.
what are you loving?
Magnet task.
This week, I want to give a shout out to potatoes just for being themselves. They don't expect much from you, but they give so much to me.
Like vodka.
No,
But
just by
vodka.
being potatoes. I can just wash them and put them in the fryer. I don't have to peel them, and they still give me some good loving. I can shred them, I can mash them, I can slice them, I can dice them. Potatoes are just amazing. Thank you so much. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Big up to Caprice.
Transformer oil.
Yes.
Some time ago, I was looking for a new viewpoint to photograph a sunrise or a sunset of Nairobi. And I stumbled upon the Mirage Towers that's on Wayaki Way. So one of the towers, tower number 3, at the top floor, there's this space called the Lyceum. It's an office space. It's a co-working space where you get your own private desk, access to a boardroom, access to the kitchen and the lavatory. Why do Kenyans call it lavatory? I don't understand.
Because that's where you make love illicitly.
So yeah, amongst those, you also get access to a really dope balcony with a view of the city on your left and Westlands on your right, and the sun really shines properly there. So I'm plugging the space as itself, to go if you have your own business and you need a space to go work. I think guys should go there. It's Elysium on Tower 3 of Mirage Towers on Wayaki Way.
Is your voice getting lower?
And make sure
What's
to
happening?
visit
It's
the
a case.
laboratory.
It's
So-
a case.
Adole.
Plus, I think I'm joining Jimmy on the whole thing. Did any of you read the what do you call it? The interview Hapa Kenya did. So Jimmy
did.
said that this podcast, he's trying to
Sexy
reach out to
singles.
sexy singles in his area.
Yeah.
And I'm liking that. I think I want to change.
Enjoy candy.
So find
Yes, enjoy candy. So that's who I want to target
And
as well.
that's why the
Yeah.
voice needs to be deep.
So
Yeah.
find
it has to be deep.
Find Twitter in the lavatory
The lavatory.
every Sunday morning from 9 a.m. to midday. Make love to the sunrise.
Maybe we shouldn't drink. Maybe. I'm just saying. As the resident angry person, although really, guys, I'm not that angry, but this week on episode 4 of the Omenerds podcast, I want to know, what are you mad about?
I hate you so much right now. I hate you so much right now.
I'm mad at the mainstream news media because I also get the weird WhatsApp things and nini, and like people really believe that a lot. And I feel like mainstream news doesn't do a lot to like really educate people on the reality of things and share facts, and like they're not really doing their job. So I feel like mainstream media can do better to like calm down the situation and help people out with whatever they're struggling with in their heads, especially my relatives. So, mainstream media, pull up your socks.
Okay.
Team editor, put in the pull up your socks.
Okay, and wow, a lot of feelings from Jimmy. I echo your thoughts, but mine is more about WhatsApp forwards, especially to the specific political parties. I have gotten all sorts of forwards in the past month or so, and I just want to tell people to stop spreading fake news. Like, guys, come on, we can be better than this. You don't have the IEBC numbers. You, as the regular Kenyan, come on.
Yeah.
It's not accurate. We know this. And it's terrible that the mainstream media will not debunk anything, so we just keep misleading each other.
Yeah. Just last night, I got a text that you should not donate money to COD because Raila did a fundraising thing.
I saw
Yeah.
that. I actually got that forward, and I was like, guys,
Yeah,
he's
they were
rich.
like, don't send money to him because he's using your ID numbers from M-Pesa to, like, your vote is his. Like, if you send money, your vote is in. Like, they'll use your number. Chebukati is NASA diehard. Nini. Yeah, like,
If
please.
Chebukati is NASA
Please
diehard,
help
then why
us.
didn't he win?
Yeah,
But
help
that
us,
thing,
Lord.
that thing also needs to be addressed. The fact that you get texts for services that you've not subscribed to,
Yeah.
and I realize that there are people who are buying the M-Pesa books.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got a text and from like Roy Sambu, somebody who was campaigning in Roy Sambu, and I did only one M-Pesa transaction at
There.
the Mountain Mall place. So that's the only way. And my dad has done one there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And he also got the text. But nobody else in our family
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
M-Pesa
So-
books
so
are used
yeah.
in the area.
That's true,
You
by the
use
way. They
them.
do.
So now how much do you buy those things for?
I don't know.
I don't think
Information
they buy
is
them.
power.
It's like they, they buy them, but like the person in the M-Pesa shop, I think they discard of them
Okay.
somewhere.
I think they sell
And those
them.
people get
There's money
on
to be
them.
made.
yeah.
Because it was a very random text. I'm like, dude, I don't even know you. I'm
Because it's
not.
a phone number and an ID number. Think
Yeah.
about it.
They have your information. Yeah. So they were like, COD is collecting your ID numbers. So if you donate
I've got
20
now you see-
shillings to Raila, you've donated your vote.
Now you see, I got the opposite. I got the opposite text.
Yeah.
That Jubilee is collecting your ID
Yeah,
numbers.
you see?
It's the same variation
yeah,
of
they
the
use
same
the
text.
same thing. Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I'm
Please.
still broke. I don't care about these
Yeah,
people.
calm
Still
down.
broke.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not helping.
Usa. Twitter, what are you mad about this week?
Ah.
Sorry, Twitter.
I'm mad at employment. We are paid monthly, which is a sham because every month has different days to what sums up to a month. Like January is 31 days, but February is 28 days. If we take every month as 28 days,
Or 29 if it's a leap year.
Yeah.
Or is it the other way around?
if we count 28 days
the
as every
average.
month, then there's an extra month at the end of the year that we haven't counted. And employers only pay us, well, basically just the round off for that whole year. There's a whole month that employers are nyiming us our salary. And that's why these days I can't afford to eat what I like eating, because the labor I provide is being summed up or averaged up into a full month, yet it's not.
Employers lipa Twitter, gari utumia mafuta.
Gari utumia mafuta.
As a motorist.
As a motorist. And then also, yani, in the off event that I decide to walk from my car to the office, and Westland is full of dust, ama imenyesha na kuna matope, na I have to pay mamafua to wash my
middle
shoes.
class problems.
Just have so many issues.
Unanyimwa gazeti ya bure.
I feel there's money owed to me that I'm not getting. It's a sham.
They should be paying you like
Can you keep quiet
fortnightly.
and sell your labor in order to eat?
There's
Damn
a
it.
13th month that I'm not being paid for, and I feel I'm owed.
So they should pay you like every fortnight.
I wish we were paid weekly, to be honest, or every 2 weeks. Exactly, yeah, every fortnight. So that at the end of the day or year, it sums up to more money than what I'm being paid now, where they're just deducting chunks.
Pay Twitter what you owe him.
If you tried to just get some tenders, this wouldn't be a problem.
Hashtag Tender Bay.
I'm too proud.
Hey. Okay, and Max, what are you mad about this week?
This is some anger that I've been carrying for a very long time.
Let it out.
This anger is directed at Uchumi supermarkets.
Wow.
And not necessarily the supermarket right now, but sandwiches. Uchumi sandwiches. I remember a few years back, those were like the most amazing sandwiches you could get in Nairobi.
True.
And at such an affordable price. And then one time I walked into this Uchumi at Ngong Road. And I asked for a sandwich. Since I'm vegetarian, so it's just basically vegetables and like some cheese and then
bread.
And you put in, the condiments or whatever. This woman looks me in the eyes, in the face, and she's like, "Yeah, we only have tomatoes." I'm like, "Is it going to be the same price that you're giving me a piece of bread with tomatoes?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You want me to pay 180 shillings for bread
and
with
tomatoes.
5 pieces of tomatoes?" She's like, "Yes." And this is why Uchumi is in the problems that it is, because they just didn't care. One time I went to the Uchumi not Lavington, sorry, the one on Langata Road. And this lady is like, "Yeah, we don't have ketchup or mustard." You are in a fucking supermarket. Like, it's there. If you just climb over this
Skip and hop.
yeah, it's right there. She's like, "No, unless wewe madam ununue alafu tukuweke." I'm like, "Are you for real? Like, what's happening? What's happening? Tuko na chumvi."
Wait,
okay.
serious?
Yeah,
Really?
for real. The one in LA. So yeah, that's this pain I've been carrying in me for a very long time. But I feel like if they had continued to provide the really good power sandwiches, I'm sure everybody was a fan of those.
Oh, yes.
I was.
And then they just
With
kept
the
on reducing the
condiments.
meat.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, I think it had like
Yes,
all
yes.
the kinds of meat. There was like ham, bacon, whatever, chicken, yes, and turkey slices or whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you come, they only have ham, or you come, they only have turkey, or you come and they only have, I guess, bacon, whatever.
They stopped having variations
Is
of
that
bread.
is
'Cause
that
I like
how you
brown
ended
bread.
up area?
No. I
Like,
just
they stopped having
I
the
thought like
variations.
Uchumi
They
disappointed you mpaka uga like hata sitaki nyama.
And
Yes.
then
Nyama
there was
ikae.
one time we were served with old bread, like it was stale. Yeah. So anyway, that's some pain that I've been carrying with me for a very long time. I wish they would go back to doing the
Usa.
proper sandwiches that they used to, because then it gives people a reason to go to Uchumi. I'm out.
Well, everybody seems very mad.
It's an angry day.
Hey.
Omenes.
Hey. You're listening to the podcast.
Friend.
Omenerds podcast.
At the time when the results were announced, I was in Kiambu. No, actually, I was on my way to Kiambu. But I was on the radio and got the impression, because I was listening in live, and I'm like, I think they're about to make the announcement. So I stopped at Ridgeways. And I didn't expect that I'd find there's a club there, popular place called
Scotchies.
Yeah, Scotchies, yeah. So I'm there.
Members.
The place is full of people. And just like me, they're waiting for the announcement. But, I mean, given the area we're in, a lot of them were waiting to just hear how they had won.
Mm-hmm.
And the day before, when the counting had started, a few days before that, I was at a friend's house and the counting had started. Uhuru was in the lead. And, without talking about what my political inclinations are, I was like, oh gosh, it's going to be 5 years, another 5 years of the same stuff. So I left Scotchies very, very, very... I was in a state. I wasn't the happiest person in the room. I mean that very literally, because there was such rejoicing going on. And I was heading to a friend's house. They were going to have a games night, and I was like, yeah, let's go and just forget about all this stuff. But we've come off of shooting a movie called Supermodo, and naturally, there's a WhatsApp group, and a few of the people that I work with, some live in Kibra, some live in there was Kibra and Huruma. Those are the two places where I remember we're receiving updates from the most. And while I was driving to Kiambu, I came across two crowds of people rejoicing. And all I had to do was roll down my window and employ my best acting skills and be like, Tano, yes!
Yes! Hashtag!
And I got high fives.
That was the password.
Yeah, that was the password.
Yeah.
Can you pass here? And then that one, or Hatutaki nusu mkate. That, and then they were like, cheers. So passing those two rowdy crowds and hearing about 15-20 minutes later that these rowdy crowds had actually started robbing drivers.
Yes.
From the celebration, very quickly, the bad elements, the bad seeds came in and started taking advantage of the celebrations to loot drivers. We end up at games night, and I'm on my phone the whole time. And the WhatsApp group with the crew members of the film starts lighting up with people in Huruma and Kibera, talking about how these bullets being like these live bullets we've seen. We've seen people get shot. There's tear gas now, and the guy in Huruma said, we've just seen someone die, someone get shot by cops. And then a certain audio clip, which didn't do the rounds for very long, went round of a lady in her house screaming while there was gunfire going on outside. And I wake up the next morning, and the press would have you believe that everything was peaceful. Twitter would have you believe that everything was peaceful. Facebook would have you believe everything is perfect. We have just elected a new president in, and Kenya is peaceful. All the international observers had said, yes, Kenya, you have been an example to the rest of Africa, and you have exercised your democratic right, and you have exercised peace. And what
Look at all
distance.
These pictures.
Yeah, just look
at how
far we've come.
Yeah, and how many people made lines and the stories of the guys who were giving free rides on their boda to guys going to vote. And all these middle class Kenyans.
And then of course there was hashtag
with the pictures of their fingers.
Yeah, hashtag
elections in Nairobi, in Kenya.
And everything was fine. But this guy, he's called Nesta. Nesta is like, yo, I just saw a youth man being gunned down by police. And I'm like, this is not right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our middle class privilege affords us this sort of
it's a separatedness.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We're nicely corralled from the real thing.
Right.
So I'm seeing the real thing here. This is real life. I know people have seen people dying. People have had gunshots. People have been marooned in their houses. Because this guy, after seeing people being shot, said there was still GSU patrolling the next day. And I remember I didn't even go home. After my friend's house, we went to someone else's house. We watched movies. It was like we're all trying to numb ourselves.
Escapism.
It was escapism.
The best kind.
It was.
Yeah.
And just middle class escapism.
Yes.
Just classic middle class.
But
buy
also,
your coffee,
yeah.
Do your shopping, whatever.
So I want to bring it back to you as Mugash, the actor and the writer. Because again, as a creator of content and as an artist in Kenya, are these stories that you would be inspired to write about and sort of have like a small movie come out just about your experience?
Absolutely.
And the reason I ask this is because I know in Katikati, everybody who's white, whenever you go show it in a festival, always ask about post-election violence. And there's like a small scene that just highlights the post-election violence, but like the entire white population or whoever is in the festival focuses on that. So where do you get the balance where it's not like Africa, Kenya, we're always giving out these really sad stories about people dying and also have it as an entertaining movie that people want to see and learn from?
Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about art, is that it's a malleable thing. It's a thing that you can craft. Yeah, you can shape it and craft it and make it something else, even if you're addressing the very same basic issues. Now, I would hate to do the approach of 20 years ago when NGOs would come and give funding for a film in the late 90s, for instance. And what are we talking about? Drunkenness. Or what are you talking about? HIV, AIDS, or poverty. And we approach that stuff spot on, like right head on, and be like, now, if this is about HIV, AIDS, open on someone sleeping around with people, and scene 2 is him in the hospital getting his HIV
and he's like
and
really
whatever.
emaciated.
And and then later on he's emaciated and he's like, I wish I knew better. No, man. I mean, that's not how you do
I've
things.
watched 4 of those movies.
Yeah, you probably have seen many of those. But I'm glad you bring Katikati up as an example, because we were really, we felt this is something that hadn't been addressed yet. Yes, a film had come out, but it still was a conversation people weren't having. So how about you have this thing in the afterlife where people have all these issues to deal with and post-election violence comes up. Now, the reason a lot of people remember that is, one, because post-election violence still affects us all, but also it's one of the most memorable set pieces in the film, so to speak. You have someone, a choir appearing to him and him going crazy and him walking out and setting fire to all his paintings and this. It's memorable, and people always say that stuff was creepy.
I want to Starkey the people in this studio
who haven't seen it.
No, they've seen it, but they don't get it.
Oh,
they said fine. They don't understand it.
It's okay.
And everybody has their own interpretation.
It's all right.
I'm looking at Lorizi.
It's all right. It's cool. Yeah. I mean, everyone has their own, and that's art. Let people, at least we have people talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Nyawira is talking about how she's receiving calls, she's receiving distress SMSs, and then she has to wake up to the same news that we woke up to, saying everything is fine. And she's like, I just spoke to over a dozen people who are telling me that it isn't.
But then my phone rang off the hook on Sunday until 5:45 a.m.
Yeah.
This is like a George Orwell book, yeah? 1984.
Like
just delete everything and just pass, like proper propaganda, everything is okay.
Imagine, it was call after call from women hiding under their beds, from
so
dudes.
Now, Nyawira, and you
reality.
mentioned that you've seen so much bad out of humanity. Like, what do you do to distress? Right? What are you doing
this
to
has
not
helped me
get overwhelmed?
Do I get a refill?
She's happy because you've given her KC.
No, as in, like, I haven't drunk in a while. So
KC Coconut, please sponsor us. Thank you.
I second Mugambi when I got so upset when I got online and guys are like, no, nothing happened, and I got calls until 5:45 a.m. Calls, messages. The messages are not even long. They're like, Madam, tumepewa namba yako, utatusaidia. Tuko sijui wapi kuja. And I'm like, what? Boss, it's 3 a.m.
So what are you doing to kind of just... Because it's a lot. Like, we're all seated here and everybody's just so sad, and it must be draining emotionally.
It is.
So you like the drinks?
Well, I haven't been able to decongest, to say the least, because like this is the birth of a first of its kind in Kenya. Like, there's never been Rescue BnB, so I can't afford to sleep. So I'm just hoping, like, 1 year from now, I'll be like, peace, yo, and then I go to Spain or whatever.
No, I feel you.
I hope they give me a visa.
You need to take time for yourself. This gets a lot.
I do, but I think
it is necessary.
I think what keeps me going is the messages I'm receiving. Oh my gosh. Someone sending you a message like, Nyawira, kwa sababu yako leo sikulala njaa. You know, as in, it feels like those messages just warm my heart. I'm like, you know what? I was tired and I was asleep, but hey, let me wake up. You know, there's someone who needs my help. So I think the messages have been keeping me going. Plus my team is amazing. The fact that they're all volunteers and they have 8 to 5s, you know, that just shocks me. So, and they're putting in their time. I now have a communications manager. In fact, I should have told Mugambi, kindly pass through my manager.
Call my people.
Yeah, call them to set up a meeting with me. So like I have a comms manager who does all our emails, all our calls, all our graphics, and she's amazing.
No, we don't heal.
No, at all.
Yeah, we don't heal.
The problem is
Even in our own personal lives.
Oh, wow.
It's true.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a thing that we do. We just bury it and keep moving.
Yeah, we
and
do.
it always comes back. You can't.
It
sweep
always
all
comes
over.
back. Always.
Yeah, because we had a conversation with Njoki for our first episode. This will be our 4th episode, actually.
Oh, nice.
Our first episode with
Congratulations.
Njoki Ngumi, who was talking about Kenyans being in crisis constantly. And it's very difficult for you to keep all these the crisis in your brain. Otherwise, you go crazy. So the best thing is you just move on.
Yeah.
You know, you can't hold on to that. You go crazy.
Yeah, we had a long conversation once about that exact thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we realized that our amnesia is a form of self-preservation. I mean, look.
Absolutely, yes. That's what it is.
I don't know if you remember, the projection, progression went this way. People were a bit dissatisfied with the speed with which results were coming in and these forms, the 34 and 34B and all the anomalies in that case. And everything played out it was like the Truman Show. Like everything was doctored to make us like distract. First was Githeriman. And Githeriman was like, oh my God, look, this is someone who can capture your imagination. Someone actually called him a peace ambassador.
What?
Wow.
Someone else called him a peace hero. Kenya's
my gosh.
peace hero, Githeriman.
Distraction.
Okay.
Is more like
This
it.
is before anything had happened. He was already our peace hero.
We,
he kept us
we
forgetting.
need to laugh. We need to laugh.
exactly.
We
That's
need
what
it.
people think.
We need it.
Even me, I
But
want
this
an
is,
S8.
this is the story of we're not satisfied and Githeriman can't exist together. One has to supersede the other.
Absolutely,
and
yes.
Githeriman won. Then 34 and 34B, someone remembered, oh, those are bra sizes. Then all the bra memes started coming out.
Wait, I missed that. What?
Oh, there was a
did?
bra meme.
What?
Yeah, it was there.
And then there
But
was
just distractions.
Ati what 34B?
Those are
What's the
as in
story?
The form
from 34.
No, I get it, but
34B.
what does it have to do with the bras?
See, those are bra sizes.
So people say I talk about bras.
Yeah. So they were like 34A, 34B. I know where you can find them. Stuff like that.
I missed it.
And then there was the CEO
I would have
Bay.
had fun with that nonsense.
Or Chilo Bay.
Yeah, Chilo Bay.
Chilo Bay.
Chilo Bay.
Yes.
I didn't
All
get it
that-
because he's not okay.
like
But
this-
anyway,
this
I have
was-
better taste in men.
All this became the progressive conversations.
I'll
that we're
tell
trying
you.
to have to forget everything else. So when Airbnb, I'm sorry.
Why, thank you.
Rescue
BnB
BnB came up.
Yeah,
and
we will
actually
bleep
did
that
stuff. I was
out.
like, this is a narrative I want to get behind. This is a story I want to get behind.
I
That's
feel
why
so
I'm,
humbled.
that's why I'm behind what they do 100%.
And I really want to see your a story come out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Mugambi,
the
I
challenge.
can act in case you are doubting my skills.
Oh, there's also
Are you
can get
sure?
it.
there's also a dozen kids in
That's-
Kibra who can.
That's coming out of KC. Ama is for real you're an actress.
Kwanza, where's my refilala?
Hey.
Hiya, mbos.
Waiter. So
So I'll interrupt you there for a little bit. We usually do this question because I know Mugambi has to go do arty things.
I
because I've had
apologize.
their drinks in his house. What
I
a true-
apologize.
We'll all follow him. He has
Then
drinks
we
in his
overheard
house.
your phone call. No,
What?
I overheard.
And
What?
I asked someone to come
I
with
overheard
drinks.
his phone call. Ati bwana kuja na nini? I was like, bas.
So
That's
let's
how we
hurry
work.
up
That's where
with
we are
this
going.
podcast. Mugash has a party at his house.
Y'all are invited.
So question. What is the Kenyan dream to you?
No, me, I know the Kenyan Dream for sure is a place where I would be proud to call home, and a place where my child and myself and people that I love can grow mentally, can grow economically, can grow, can develop without restrictions, and not because you're from a certain tribe.
Yeah.
So there's so many people I unfollowed, so many guys I blocked on Twitter. Like, I'm just like, apana, you tweet nonsense, unakula tofali. That's the Twitter lingo.
Yes.
Yeah. You're down
Yes.
with the
So
watus.
yeah, so that's
Alrighty.
my Kenyan dream.
Hiya, Mugash.
Yes.
Before you leave, who's your favorite Nairobi Diaries character?
Oh my God. The person who yells, cut.
Oh my goodness! Woo! What is your ideal Kenyan dream?
I want women not being harassed for the stuff that they're wearing, or not having to police themselves before they say anything because the patriarchy is going to come down on them. Progressive politics, that's nothing about politics.
Yeah.
I want politicians earning the same amount of money that I do, so that we can have people going there as an actual public service. I'd want people prospering, but not prospering in the way new money people are prospering now, where they run and they buy that big car and become all the douchebags on the road that we see, or people going to blow money in the club. I want a Kenya that people are driven by values and integrity above money and sex. You know, that for me is the Kenyan dream. Now, I have acknowledged fully that this dream is probably not going to be realized in my lifetime. It very likely will not. But, and I'll call out Nyawira again, it's people like her that say, yo, why do I have to wait for it to come from the top down? Why don't I just start from where I am now? And let my existence and my intentions be such a force that I can rally people around them. And boom, suddenly the change you want to see starts happening.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Woo!
I hope that helped.
Prisha.
For Mugash.
Okay. Octopizo, Giuliani, Rabbit. Who am I missing? Calligraph. Who's your fave?
Of those
Of those four, yeah. Dum. Wait. No
Galgalo
cheating.
anampea mwaks.
No cheating.
It's Giuliani for sure. You guys remember Kilio cha Haki?
Wow. Me, myself, and I have never heard of
No,
it.
Mta Mentality was that album.
You're not down with the Watus.
That was his
I'm
first
down with the
album.
Watus. What are you talking
Kilio cha
about?
Haki. No, Kilio cha Haki was
Sawa Peter Kenneth.
Uko Flani Mau Mau.
Okay. I've just been called Peter Kenneth.
Oh my God.
How dare you? I'm down with the Watus.
Yeah. Like Peter Kenneth is, for sure.
Did you just say the Watus?
So you were talking about Kilio cha Haki.
Yeah, so Kilio cha Haki, he had one stanza in one song. He probably appeared on like 2 or 3 songs. No, 2 max.
Fanya tena, no?
Timo has never been
And
more
before
happy.
that,
Yeah.
we'd never heard of this guy. But dude, this guy came out and spat rhymes.
You remember that video of it?
Oh, Timo
he's-
produced that album. That's why he's crying.
Timo, you produced
didn't.
Fanya tena.
No, it's I can't remember what the lines were. But the chorus had like piano and bass. You know, like that Diggable Planets kind of jazzy vibe. That one.
Artists are gonna artist whenever you let
That
them
was
artist.
Giuliani, man. And to see him grow from that into the force that he's become now, you guys, I get behind him as a rapper, as a person.
Great. I like Octopizo.
And he is a partner of Rescue BnB.
Okay, so you have Octopizo and
Giuliani.
Giuliani. Dope.
Dandora
Okay,
in Fox City
sawa.
has been our base. Yeah.
Mugash.
Yeah.
And your mini tattoos. So now, Galgalo, since we've heard from your biggest fan ever. Yeah. Right?
Well, I didn't know that I had fans.
You do, and she's sitting right
so-
next to you. Now you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about yourself, how you came to meet up with her, what led you to this path?
After the declaration of the results, I saw a tweet by Nyawira, and because there was some kind of tension in Kibra, in other areas, and she had tweeted that her friend was stranded in Kibra, and I just kept in touch and stayed online to see, because we guys on Twitter, or the people on Twitter, or the Kenyans on Twitter, news spreads so fast.
True.
So just to keep tabs, and I monitored her tweets. Whatever happened during those few hours birthed Rescue BnB. Great.
And what does Galgalo do
Okay, I have
outside of Rescue BnB?
I have an 8 to 5.
Yes.
And my boss is so awesome. So I reported to work on Monday after the election results were announced. And when I go to work, people were not in the office. Not everyone was in the office. And I was monitoring Mchanga because I'm the person handling donations and funds for Rescue BnB. And while I was online, my boss came and he peeped and saw me not doing the 8 to 5 work. Yeah. So he asked and I explained it to him, and He gave me a week's off. Just go concentrate on Rescue BnB.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming through.
Yeah, thank
We've
you
really
so
enjoyed
much.
talking to you. It's been a heavy discussion.
Yeah.
And we just want to we're so grateful that there are people on the ground. I think there's a quote that keeps on every time there's something that happens, like a tragedy or whatever, where we're told to look for the helpers. And it's you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Omenerds podcast. You can help Rescue BnB by reaching out to Nyawira and the team on @Rescue BnB.
What's your Kenyan dream, Dwitz?
What I know about the Kenyan Dream, or what I've seen about it, it's not what I actually follow. It's I grew up, I finished high school, I get my degree, I get a wife, I get 2 kids, I get a 4x4 for my wife, a nice sports car for myself, I have a mortgage, and then a plot somewhere towards Shags, or if I don't have a Shags, somewhere towards Rift Valley or something, or even Namanga. I'm a sort of manager in whatever I work, and my decisions are... I don't believe in that dream. For myself, what I see, the dream I have of Kenya is it burning down with the rest of us, and the next generation just starting over, learning from our mistakes and doing better. Because I think we've already fucked up.
I also think
There's
Kenya
no
has a
remedy right
short
now.
shelf life.
Yeah, there's no remedy.
This can't last for long.
It can't. I keep wondering, of all the money that is lost by our government,
Please.
please.
Allegedly.
It's not lost. It's not lost.
Allegedly.
No. Let's
It was
use
a
the
computer-
correct
it was a
terminology.
computer
It has
error.
been
Taken.
stolen.
Stolen.
Yes.
Of all the money that is stolen and we still somehow stay afloat, there must be a lot of money just circling around in Kenya, which will run out eventually.
True.
Honestly. And when that happens, I'm hopeful that the next generation will learn from our mistakes and do better.
I want to say that the people in this podcast clearly have some depression issues that
Like,
they need.
I am so
They're
sad.
so dark. I
am
wish you could
so
see.
sad.
I wish you
Nah,
could see
sisi
how
ni wa
Laura
Kenya.
just looks so
Sisi
fit.
ni wa
I love
Kenya.
this place. I love my country, but wow,
I like what Tim Work said one time when we were having this discussion about just exploring the Kenyan dream. And he said the Kenyan dream now seems to be always on Mombasa Road headed to the airport to say goodbye to people who are relocating. And I feel like anybody
about-
given the chance to just leave this country, you are gone
We would.
without a...
The Kenyan Dream has a green card.
Yeah, but where are the fixers? Why weren't there anybody?
wow.
Please repeat that.
The Kenyan Dream has a green card.
Yes.
Hey. True.
Absolutely. But also, that's not a dream. Like a green card to America right now is like, you're also taking chances
Yeah,
there.
you're taking chances.
Yeah. I mean, here we don't have hurricanes, right?
Yeah.
We don't have earthquake. Well, we kind of do, but it's
What
not that
we have
bad.
droughts.
Watupatia red card
Nah.
kwenda China.
Self-inflicted. Wow.
Yeah, me. I'd love to be in China.
Why?
See, it's the new, like, where good shit is happening. Everyone
sure?
owes China money. China is doing good shit for everyone.
No, but they can't
That's why
support
everyone
their
wants to go
population.
there.
That's why they're
Us,
sending
we
people
don't care.
out.
Us, we are
Where you
immigrants. So
Can
with
I
those red
just
cards.
say, you said the Kenyan dream is the wife or the husband with
The
2
dream I've
kids.
seen, yes.
Yeah, with the 2 kids in the car. But then you have to put in, there's an edit there because whatever job you have cannot sustain you. So you have to have a side hustle,
Yes,
which is what majority of Kenyans are doing. That's why
thank
there's
you.
always traffic in Nairobi.
Because everyone, people have office jobs and everyone gets to the office by 8 or 9. Between 9 and 5, you're running your side hustle. That's why there's so many people on the road, because they're just running from up and down to a place to sell a service or to sell a product. And that's why let me not say Kenyan Dream, because it's mainly Nairobians who focus on the side hustle. Everyone else out of Nairobi is very content with their shambas.
No, my grandma has a side hustle.
Wow.
What's your grandma's side hustle?
She sells toilet paper. She sells.
Word?
I know. Yeah.
And what's
No,
her main
because-
I guess
hustle?
it's grown. But
Let's just say, like, as Nairobians, we're very conceited in thinking that what we experience equals to the
Nairobi,
rest of the
yes.
country,
That's true.
and that's not always the case.
It's not.
But that's the
Yeah,
thing. You wouldn't
that's-
need to do that if the government was providing the quality of
Yeah.
life that everybody deserves.
Yes, exactly.
That
you
means-
would have been
yeah.
comfortable going to Kibera because
Yeah.
there's
There's
good
water,
housing,
there's elect,
water,
it's
there's
secure,
electricity,
it's
there's
safe.
security.
Yeah.
Like just the basic things
Yeah.
are what
Yeah.
True,
discourage you from like going to
Because when you
certain
say you want to
places.
stay in the green
Leafy
leafy
suburbs.
suburbs, that's just again insulating yourself.
True.
And why are you protecting yourself? Because you have a little money, right? That you want. Isn't there a saying that goes that money that's been acquired honestly, you build a longer table, but if you've stolen the money, then you build a higher wall.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right?
You
I
should
feel
build
like
a
there's
longer table instead of a higher wall.
Instead
Yeah,
of a
that's
higher
true.
wall. So these communities of people building these, what are they called? These housing estates with the gated
Gated
communities. Yes. What are you in there hiding?
I'm fancy. What you mean?
Yeah,
You're
they just
insulating
it's
yourself.
insulating yourself.
Yeah, and then
from
you have your
the
own
real
services
Kenya.
there, right?
I mean, a
Yeah.
callback to
Yeah.
episode 1 about escapism.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
escaping
We're just
our
escaping the reality that is
the Kenyan
Kenya we live in.
condition.
Kenya
Yeah,
is
the Kenyan condition.
Kenya is fucked.
It's
But
fucked
that's not
up.
open to all of us.
And I keep stating this to everyone I know, everyone I meet, everyone I talk to. You deserve basic amenities. It's not something that is extra. You deserve the basics. You deserve water. You deserve housing. You deserve electricity.
Garbage collection.
Okay, that's wow. Yes, you deserve
Yes.
But we
garbage.
do deserve
No,
it.
that's a heavy topic because the
We are
plastic
in
ban,
the
the
middle
plastics
of
ban
the plastic
is so
ban.
irrational.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't understand people who
it's upside
support
down.
it. I'm like, listen, I deserve to, with my basic taxes that are taken. I don't pay. They are taken
from you.
from my
Yes.
paycheck. I deserve to have water, electricity, garbage collection, sewage, and roads. Okay,
Healthcare.
that too, and healthcare, right? But now we all know that wherever you live, you pay extra. You pay out of pocket for
everything.
water,
What's it called?
for
What's that amount of money you pay to
Service
the landlord?
charge.
Yes, service charge. I hate
you
that
pay
shit.
for security, you pay for garbage collection, you pay for sewage, whatever, right?
And your healthcare.
And that should be within your rights as a citizen. It doesn't matter whether you live in Kibera, whether you live in Lavington. You should be afforded the same services. But when you tell people that, they're like, no, but you see, things are expensive and, you know.
Nyef nyef.
Wow, okay. I did not mean what
No,
what
like,
Jimmy
yeah,
said
they
with
say,
nyef nyef.
Like, yeah, they're like, yeah.
But you see now,
really,
and then
nyef nyef.
the ban for NEMA comes through for plastics, right? And we're not fixing the problem. All of these laws that come through that are supposed to make your life better are punitive. They are put there to punish you
To punish
as the
you.
citizen.
Yeah.
Like,
So you tell me I can't use a plastic bag anymore. But you're not fixing the issue that is garbage collection and recycling and cleaning up
True.
the streets.
Exactly.
So I'm using paper. Who's gonna collect that?
I would have been okay if they had said, okay, we're phasing out plastic bags this entire year. So what we're going to do first is we're going to collect
Yes.
all the plastic
waste. and all
that's
that.
everywhere. Every time you walk in these streets, there's like plastic paper bags flying everywhere.
Right.
So what are we saying about the Kenyan dream? Are we agreeing with Teamwork that it's a nightmare or nobody except
is.
the very lucky few who are able to insulate themselves, as Jimmy has said?
I think the Kenyan dream, it comes from like back in, like what is Kenya? When the concept of Kenya was thought up, that's when certain people had a Kenyan dream of what being Kenyan is. And I assume it was some white people in Happy Valley having orgies and drugs and whatnot. And then they passed it on to
That- Yeah.
their black friend, our founder.
Home guards.
And
God.
yeah,
You
and
know?
it passes on like what our founding father thought. This
But
is
what
Kenya
went
should
wrong? Because your
And-
dad, my dad, was living that Kenyan dream.
be. Yeah, they were at some
and
point.
this is what, how many, 20 years ago? Like
Or
what
more.
we fucked
More,
up
yeah.
in that 20, 30 years.
I think it's a matter of who was given the responsibility of being in charge of the Kenyan
So
dream.
let's not be
Like, yeah,
negative.
you-
If
you're
we
the
fucked up so
dreamer.
much in just 30 or so years, I think we can fix it.
But you
I think
see,
it's
not
fixable.
easy.
No,
You
it's
see,
not
it was
easy.
easy to fuck up when you had like
yeah.
you were in charge of 7 million people.
But now the
But then when
population,
you're told to fix it when you're in charge of 40 million, that will be
that's
a problem.
a different story.
Yeah, so we are in quite a fix.
You guys
Like
are
Doita
so
said.
negative.
Burn it down.
I am fine with watching it burn down, with me included.
Okay, me I say don't burn it down, but
Yeah.
like just shut it down for December holidays,
Yeah.
and then we discuss.
We discuss
And
properly.
like,
and
yeah,
we try and
tukifungua
fix it.
January, what's
I
the way
think-
forward?
I think the problem is, until you change the mindset of the average Kenyan, all of the talk, all of the ideas is not going to go anywhere because people don't seem to think that they deserve these things. Once we get into the mindset that I deserve, the politician who is voted in has gone in as a public servant, not to go there to enrich themselves. And then we will move forward. So if you don't go there to serve me and you don't fulfill your civic responsibilities, then you chuck and we move on to the next guy. Plain and simple.
That evolving as a mindset, it's one of those, you complain about the service that, let's say, your elected politician is doing, and then what everyone around you asks you is, but you, what are you doing to change it? And you're like, but see, I elected someone to do this vibe for me. I'm being deducted taxes for this vibe. I don't need to actually actively now give you all the, avenues.
it's not
and-
your job.
Paying
It's not my job to
taxes
do
is so
all that.
painful and getting nothing in return.
It
you
is.
know, when you in June when they're telling us to pay taxes, I'm just like, oh
man.
my
Or to
god.
prove that your taxes are being taken away from you.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah?
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. Like they ask you pay taxes, and
Yeah.
then you be like, taxes for what?
Let's
They
say,
won't
I'm
answer you.
not getting any
Yeah, you won't
service.
get
let's
yeah.
say my
Yeah.
employer
Sensible
pays
answer.
me 100 Gs. My bank won't acknowledge that I'm paid 100 Gs. They'll only acknowledge my post-tax deduction, which is 70. So they'll only cap my, if they're to give me a loan or something, or if they're to come to overdraw my account.
Them to guarantee you.
Or if I lose my job and I happen to have one of those salary accounts where they support me for the next 3 months,
There's
they'll only
something
give
like
me.
that.
Yeah, there is actually.
Hey, sign me up.
Yani, I mean, it's really unfair. And I think that's just what's so depressing about the entire Kenyan dream is because you do see these people who are living the Kenyan dream, as Jimmy put it, the guys who are able to afford all this shit and just live large.
Insulate, yes.
It's not fair. It really isn't. Because we're all Kenyans. Why can't I have a piece of the pie? Yeah? Am I asking for too much?
Yeah, you're asking for a piece of the pie.
No, it's not too much. Like you said, I'm owed, right?
Yes, it's
I'm
your
owed all
right.
this. Can you imagine living in a country where you get your salary as it is right now, right? They remove the taxes, but then your rent is of a quality
Yes,
house.
it's sustainable.
Minimal.
Yes,
It's
yes, minimal.
You don't have to pay service charge.
Yeah.
Your electricity or water or something is free.
It's subsidized.
When
at
you go
least.
to hospital, you just give your card
Yeah.
and you're able to get quality
healthcare, yes.
Do you know, I feel like it's such a small thing for the government to just be like, listen, these guys just require this and then us guys can continue stealing as we do.
Right.
Just give us a little bit, Bana. And that's why, it's going to be a revolution at some point, I think. Because guys being nyanyaswad every day.
Hey, man.
Watu nyarire.
What?
It's in a song.
Yeah.
See, there's a song.
No, you know what?
Sweet banana.
No, it's from, what's his name? Eric Wainaina song.
Word?
Yeah.
That's not a cow.
Inchi ya
what?
kitu kidogo.
Inchi ya kitu
Yeah.
kidogo.
TKK.
And then-
It was also
yes.
it was also in Sweet Banana.
And Nani
I
did
shit
that.
you
What's
not.
his name?
Nyashinsky.
No.
Nyambane. Nyambane with Talia Oyando.
Mwatu nyarire.
Yeah.
That's what he
That
said.
translates to?
Munatunyanyasa.
As in munatunyanyasa.
Yeah,
Hey.
munatunyanyasa.
No,
Yeah.
because it makes me think of as much as people were heralding like Sonko rescue team, why should that be necessary? I mean, should I not be getting my security, my garbage disposal, my... Do we even have like a fire brigade?
Anyway,
Car wash machine?
Omenadians, uku,
We're sad.
we're depressed as
We are
hell.
sad.
We're depressed as hell, and this is why we just consume KC coconut to try and
sponsor
forget
us.
our troubles.
Yangu
Please sponsor
imeishaisha,
us.
Laura.
And thank you so much for listening to episode 4
Of the Omenerds.
Please send us your comments on what you think is the Kenyan dream, or is it a Kenyan nightmare? We love hearing from you. Send us email at
hello@omenerds.com.
and that's the same on Facebook is Omenerds Podcast, and on Twitter as well. Retweet, share with your friends, and
Subscribe
subscribe as well.
Hey,
OMENES.
hey, you're listening to the podcast.
Friend.
Omenerds podcast.